questions on resolution 1248? Anybody out there would like to ask a question about resolution 1248? Mr. Coley? Call the roll.
This is for the first reading of Resolution 1248. Commissioner Anderson.
Aye.
Commissioner Cannell.
Aye.
Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson.
Aye.
Commissioner Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Resolution 1248 has passed on first reading.
Chairman Robinson, can I make a comment about 1248?
Please.
I guess to echo a little bit of what Mint said already. I mean, this is to me, this is a really significant move on the board's part to really take a long-range view at funding both rate increases and bond authority. It's the first time, as far as I can tell, that we've ever taken such a long-range view. I think it's really, really important, not just that we've adopted some rate increases, and we're going to hear in a moment approve bond issues, but that we've given a roadmap for future boards to look to. I went back and I looked at the material we started with in April at our sort of day-long planning session and compared to what we've adopted today. And looking at those two together, it really, I guess, pointed out to me what an interactive process it's been between the staff and the board. And not only do I want to thank the staff for their involvement, but I think each member of the board I want to thank too, because it's really been a very, very interactive process, and I think it really puts us in a good place in terms of long-range planning. So, thanks to all.
Well said, Mr. Jones. We need a motion and a second for resolution 1249. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Commissioners have questions specifically on 1249. Any visitor comment on 1249? You need a roll call vote, please, Mr. Coley.
Commissioner Anderson.
Aye.
Commissioner Cannell. Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson.
Aye.
Commissioner Simmons. Commissioner Thompson.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams. Resolution 1249 passed.
Okay, resolution 1250, which is the amending the budget appropriations for this coming fiscal year. Need a motion and a second.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion, second. Questions, commissioners? Visitors have any questions? Coley, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Anderson.
Aye.
Commissioner Cannell. Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Robinson.
Aye.
Commissioner Simmons.
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Resolution 1250 has passed.
Okay, we're going to move into the Pilson's report.
Commissioners, you also know over the last 3 years, we've spent a lot of time talking with you about our efforts to reduce costs. And as you saw in Mark's presentation, that's resulted in about $100 million in the plan. Last June, this past June, our last board meeting, you heard from Susan Edwards a report of how we have reduced labor-related costs. That included reducing employees by 100 people, reducing benefits, eliminating the defined benefit pension plan from our future employees. Those costs are important because they go to our bottom line. But it's also important to realize that we have still the same amount of work to do, and we have to do so with good service. How have we been able to do that is through technology. So today I want to recognize Derwin Haygood, who is going to share with you the technology investments we've made and the enhancements in service delivery we've been able to accomplish with that.
Commissioners, our focus is not necessarily on technology. Our focus is on processes. It's on process improvements. It's on gaining efficiencies, managing costs, and improving service. It just happens that technology happens to be an enabler for some of those improvements. This is a list of our largest enterprise applications that we employ today. Most of these were put in the past 10 years or so. If you were to look at this list 10 years ago, we would basically have had one system. It would have been our mainframe. And that mainframe was basically one big box with a bunch of programs within the box. And it served us very well for many, many, many years. However, as we tried to improve and make some improvements and have a greater range, greater rate of improvements, it became a little difficult for that mainframe to keep up with what we wanted to accomplish. So we migrated to more flexible, configurable systems, and that's what you see here today. One of the areas where it's evident where technology truly does support our processes, as some of the questions being asked of Mr. Elmore a few minutes ago, was in our storm response. I'll take, for example, the 127,000 customers that were without power in the most recent storm event. We use all these technologies that are right here on this list. First of all, our supervisory control and data acquisition, or our SCADA system, that was our first indication of we had issues in our system. Our substations and our largest transformers, we became aware that there were issues there. Then we began relying on our customers to contact us. And as you can imagine, with 127,000 customers without power, we got a lot of calls that we're going to try to get. We actually, normal call volume is about 80,000 calls in a particular month. We actually had 3 months worth of calls in 1 week in that time frame. We did some quick calculations, and that would have taken about 3,500 customer reps to manage that number of calls during that period of time. Well, thank goodness we've got some technology that will help us take care of that. As Mr. Elmore mentioned, was our rapid outage notification. It automatically takes the information from the customer. It combines that information with our customer information system, validates the customer, validates the location of the outage, and then automatically it sends that information to our outage management system. And the outage management system basically churns all that information, analyzes that information, and takes every single one of those thousands and thousands and thousands of calls into actual work incidents. It predicts what the work incidents are, or work events. So then the work is transmitted over the air to wireless mobile laptops in the trucks. So there's no paper involved. The trucks are able to get work without any handoffs. And we also are aware of where our trucks are. We've got maps, and we know where our trucks are. They're GPS located. In addition, they've got GPS units in the trucks, just like what we have in our vehicles. So they optimize the amount of time it takes them to get from one job to the other. In addition, our KUB website is heavily used. If you have watched television during the storm events, you're going to see KUB's website, the outage map. And thank goodness to the media, they were able to help send a message out to the customer about our outage issues and our response and our performance, as well as our customers could go to that website and look and keep up to date on where we were. And at the same time, what that allowed is there was fewer calls coming in to find out what's going on. What is the status of the storm? That allowed us to focus on the storm response. As Mr. Elmore also mentioned, we did implement a brand new system in this particular storm. About 2 to 3 days into the event, we started utilizing an automated call and texting system to those customers that were still without power. And we wanted to let them know and keep them up to date on kind of where we were. And then obviously behind the scenes, we've got several systems behind the scenes. We have the geographic information system, which is basically a digitized mapping system, was available to our crews in the field. We have a human resources information system that kept track of all the time and the labor. Financial management system, we have contractors that came in from all over the place. We had to manage and maintain that information. And then the supply chain, we were able to keep the wires and the poles and the transformers and all the equipment necessary to make sure the storm was adequately restored. Power was adequately restored. In addition to the storm, we use technology on an everyday basis. And this is kind of an example here of some of the technology we use in the storm, but we also use on our everyday. But it's also what you measure, you can manage. In 2006, we put in a fuel management system, and then in 2009, we put in a fleet management system. And with those systems, we were able to, it has a radio frequency chip in each of the 500 trucks. So when they show up to a fuel site at a KUB fuel center, the employee fills up the truck, we get the mileage, the vehicle number, and the fuel. Well, that seems pretty easy, but that's information, that's data. We're able to utilize that data, manage the data, and maximize and reduce the mileage and save $200,000 a year by managing what we can measure. Also, our website, we really look at our website as a customer self-service tool. It's not just a stagnant website. It's something we try to automate. We started looking at our phone center and realized, okay, what are the reasons that people are calling our phone center? What's the most amount of time it's taken for our call centers to take care of our customers? And one of those call types was our starting and stopping a brand new utility service. So we started evaluating and examining and saying, okay, we get 8,000 calls a month into our phone center because the customer wants to start or stop a service. We also realized it takes 9 minutes per order for each one of those. So we said, okay, can we automate this? Can we make this and put this on the website and provide that as a self-service tool for our customers? I will say a lot of people said, no, you can't do it. I'm also proud to say we got a lot of smart people, and they figured it out. It's currently on the website. As a result, 9 minutes per order is no longer taking place for a successful start-stop on the website by a rep. It only takes 3 minutes as well for a customer to do that transaction online. In addition, it's automatic. When they complete that 3-minute order, it goes immediately to our mobile data system, ready to perform the work in the field. There's no handoffs. Now, basically what we learned on putting it online, we want to take it into the phone center. We automated the online version. Now we want to take that into the phone center and automate the process for our phone center rep. It normally takes, again, 9 minutes to perform the task. We're hoping and believe that we can cut that down into half, where it'll be about 4.5 minutes. And if that's the case, we're going to save 3 to 4 full-time employees. Our website is heavily viewed, heavily utilized, and I think that's a good thing. I think every time a customer probably tries to contact us via the web, it's probably one less phone call in the phone center. As you can see, a lot of the information they're trying to accomplish is looking at their account summary and their bill history. They're looking at payment options, perhaps even signing up for different payment options. As you can see, we had nearly 200,000 bill pay attempts online. And one thing that's unique in this particular year is viewing the outage map. This particular year, 70,000 of those views were related to the 2 storm events we talked about just a few minutes ago. So with the exception of that, that would have been down to about 30,000. Before we know it, we're going to have 50% of our customers paying their bills in some automated way, in some shape, form, or fashion. It's taken off quite a bit since the web started enabling that to happen. In fact, we increased by about 12% since we allowed that, or provided that option available on the web. Our kiosks are bringing over $200,000 a month. That's continuing to grow. We're finding new opportunities and new locations for those kiosks. In addition, our payment processing staff, with the addition of some high efficiency, high-speed remittance processing equipment, in addition to these automated payment options, we reduced our staff from 20 in the payment processing center down to 9, down to single digits. So we think that's pretty significant. In addition, our payment centers, we had at one time 6 payment centers. Now we have 3, and we continue to evaluate that number and what's the right size. We're approaching 6,000 customers that are choosing our paperless billing option. We believe that, and you can see the trend, it's pretty consistent, pretty constant, it's just over a slope. Our customers, we believe, are satisfied with that option. Obviously, it's environmentally friendly, and if we get 10% of our customers to go paperless, we're looking at about $140,000 a year in savings. So not only will this option be environmentally friendly, but it saves us some money. In closing, I do want to mention that, again, we are focusing on the processes first. The technology just happens to be an enabler. We do see that we're going to need to expand self-services and continue to provide those opportunities to our customers. Mobile technologies in our future. We do believe we're going to continue to upgrade and introduce new technologies. For example, we're implementing a vegetation management system as we speak. We just recently updated our geographic information system, and we're in the process of installing an asset management system as we speak as well. So in closing, I do want to mention that technology is enabling for the processes, and with that focus, I think we can provide better service with less cost. Any questions?
Yes, questions. I was surprised that the paperless, there's not more already. Are those mostly commercial customers, or do you know?
You know, I don't know. I think it's a pretty widespread number. And I think it's just it's a steady incline, as you can see. It's not varying, so it's a consistent growth. Not sure why it's not taking off a little bit more. I think that's about 2% of our customer base.
I assume these investments are going to allow Bill and Linda to get their Twitter messages out faster.